Well, I wonder what Chilwell's relationship with Romelu Lukaku is like.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hello friends, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host Jan, and I hope you're doing well, mate. Really do hope that. Just checking the microphone's pointed at my gob. Welcome back to Chelsea news. The international break is kind of over. Mainly over. Anyway, we're going towards the weekend, which is the return of Premier League football, which is very, very exciting. But as always, Chelsea's being discussed widely around football media. There's been an exclusive from Football Insider talking about Christopher Nkunku, the stance on him. Of course, we've spoken about him recently here on the channel. Antonio Conte, he is interested in Ben Chilwell to bring him to Napoli, the left wing back / left back, which could make a lot of sense. Noni Madueke has already returned with Chelsea and is training with the first team, which is literally like a day later. So, yeah, wasting no time. And, of course, we've seen the pictures. Reece James has returned to full training with the Chelsea first team. He, of course, like Nkunku, have been talking points on the channel of late, mate. So, thanks for joining me. We're on the road to 200 ruddy thousand subscribers, which is nothing short of brilliant, excellent, and wonderful. And you can be a part of that. Just subscribe if you want to. Hit the bell if you choose to. And I'll always welcome you, invite you to like the video. Thanks for doing that. All right. So, yeah, man. I don't have the image to hand. Apologies. But Reece James pictured in Chelsea training with Enzo Maresca looking at him, smiling, laughing. Reece James, you're back. What a player. Big talking point of late. Of course, I reacted to the story here on the channel of him being advised by medical professionals to seek out warmer climates for him to protect his footballing career. Benfica, Barcelona. We went through the article here on the channel. Go seek that out. It's the last couple of days. And whether that's something would be interested in, I'm not so sure. One thing I have been very firm on and consistent on is, when fit, Reece James is the best right back in the world. I'm not, and that's not hyperbole. Hyperbole? Being hyperbolic. I'm not doing that. I genuinely think he's the best. I think he offers so much. I think he could be the ideal profile for Enzo Maresca. Not only is he an inverting fullback, or can be, he can fly forwards. We can even see him in a pinch move to left back. I think there was a bit of a failed experiment with that at some point, but I know Gusto can do it. And if there's certain games Gusto starts right back, Reece James starts left back, you can back them into swap as well, because Gusto's played a little bit of left back. They're just excellent players. And Reece James, like I said, he's that good. It does feel like this season we're going to learn a lot about Reece. If he's back, I went on Alex Goldberg's playback channel live streaming thing yesterday, and we spoke about a bunch of Chelsea players. It was fun. Shout out to Alex. And I didn't put Reece James in my top 10 players. That you're only allowed to keep 10 players in this game we played. Like loads of other content creators have done it as well. I did it. You're only allowed to select 10 players from the squad. And that includes players like Esteval and Paez and whatever. And low and E players like Santos. You can only pick 10. And there was some recurring themes at the top. Like lots of people picked, everyone picked Cole Palmer. Nearly everyone picked Levi Colwill. And then a few down, a lot of people picked Reece. I didn't pick Reece because I just don't know what happens. I just, I think it's not enough of a banker. Like, if he comes back, plays for a couple of weeks, aggravates his hamstring again, for me, that's just how, in the last 3 years, and he's in his prime now, the sample size of his availability in 3 years is worrying, dude. So we'll see what happens. I'd love to have him back. If he's fit and firing, he moonwalks, despite how good Malo Gusto is, he moonwalks into our starting lineup if he's fit. So that's great news. And yeah, interesting to see Noni Madueke is back in training already. I guess, obviously, came off the bench the night before for England. Away in Finland. England and Finland. So yeah. Great. Let's move on. Whew. I'm going to talk about Ben Chilwell first before I talk about Christopher Nkunku's the stance on Chelsea stance on selling Christopher Nkunku. Easy for me to say. I'm not going to share the article, the page article here of metro.co.uk, which is the article I'm referencing, because there's ads all over the screen, and I think YouTube might get upset with me for doing that. So you'll have to take my word for it. The page exists. You know, with Football Insider, doesn't seem to be any ads there. Just seems to be links to their other articles. But with Metro, I don't want to get copy striked. So, let's read the article talking about Napoli boss Antonio Conte is plotting January transfer move for Chelsea outcast Ben Chilwell. And this is by Tom Oliver. Is that Oliver missing an eye, or is his name Tom Oliver? It can be called Oliver, it's fine. Now, Napoli are eyeing a move for Chelsea's Ben Chilwell in the January transfer window, with Antonio Conte believed to be an admirer of the out-of-favour left-back. Well, first of all, I can believe that he's an admirer of Ben Chilwell. Conte, he loves wingbacks, and he loves wingbacks that can fly forward off for the width and be offensively effective. You know, Marcus Alonso, Victor Moses, and Chilwell and James are both Champions League winning wing-backs that came obviously after Conte. But does it surprise you at all that he's interested in this guy? Excuse me. He's 27. He's senior. Conte likes senior. Conte doesn't want children. He wants senior players. Chilwell was frozen out of Chelsea's first team plans following Enzo Maresca's appointment as manager in June, and the defender was encouraged in no uncertain terms to find a new club. Directly, and of course, Maresca said in multiple times in press conferences, he's a great lad, but we thought it'd be better if he goes, basically, publicly, and multiple times. The weeks that followed, Chilwell was named as part of Chelsea's so-called bomb squad, which also include the likes of Sterling, Chalobah, Chukwuemeka, and Cassidy. And while Chilwell made a surprise substitute appearance in Chelsea's Carabao Cup victory over Barrow, the 27-year-old is keen to find an escape route out of Stamford Bridge in order to secure regular playing time elsewhere. It's sad, isn't it? It's sad an escape because he loves Chelsea. He's like, I love playing for the Chelsea. Winning the Champions League, he wanted to win trophies for Chelsea. He wanted to be captain of Chelsea. So it's kind of sad, really, because he's a top boy as well. I feel bad for him. Now, I apologise for the following sentence that's about to follow. According to The Sun, so I apologise for that, Chilwell is expected to leave Chelsea in January, and Napoli are closely monitoring the fullback under the orders of head coach Conte. Chelsea manager, of course, from 2016 to 18, who is said to be a, quote, huge fan. There is a possibility Napoli could sign Chilwell on an initial loan with an option to buy the player outright at the end of this campaign, so I guess a 6 months loan in January. Napoli will have a free run at Chilwell. Oh, they will not have a free run at Chilwell. Sorry, excuse me. They will not. No. As Premier League trio, Fulham, Palace, and Ipswich are all ready to pounce on the England international in the winter. Wow, wages, though. Ipswich aren't playing anywhere near his wages. Crystal Palace and Fulham, well-trodden paths for Chelsea players, either on loan or on permanence. Fulham have got a bit more money than Palace, haven't they? I think. Certainly they've got money from the owners. He's got long left on his contract. How much of a pay cut would Chile take? Do you know what I mean? Who would pay more, Fulham or Napoli? I mean, Napoli recently won the Scudetto. They gave, obviously, Osimhen an absolutely insanely high contract. So it's got to be Napoli, isn't it? I know they'd never wanted to play that Osimhen contract. So they just gave it to him as like a placeholder. But I don't know. I guess... yeah, Napoli, and of course at Napoli as well, not only is Conte love wingbacks and speak English, he's got Billy Gilmore there. It looks pretty, I don't know what, I don't think necessarily Chile's got what his relationship is like with Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, he could help him settle in, he speaks English. They, they won the Club World Cup together. Hashtag memories. The report claims Chilwell still has serious, quote, concerns about his lack of minutes at Chelsea, despite Maresca hinting that he could be welcomed back in the fold. Excuse me. He says, at the moment, we need him, so why not, Maresca said after the 5-0 winner over Barrow. Bearing in mind, he came on as a sub against 4th Division Barrow when we were already really winning loads, so it's not like he's turning to him at the moment. I said already many times, and I'll say again, as long as Chile is with us, he's a Chelsea player, and if we need him, we will give him the chance for minutes. After a difficult start to life in West London, of course, Cucurella has nailed down his place, says Chelsea left-back, starting all 7 of the club's matches in the Prem this season. Chilwell has 3 years remaining on his contract with the Blues. Of course, he joined originally for 50 million in 2020. Chilwell has gone to make 107 appearances for Chelsea. The former Leicester star was an integral member of Tuchel's Champions League winning side, featuring in all but 3 of the team's matches across their triumphant campaign. He's been capped 21 times for England. Wow. Yeah, again, to remind, I have been informed by someone about Chilwell's book value. It's less than £20 million. It's like, it might be significantly less. I can't remember, maybe like 12 to 18 million. Chelsea would definitely get that / make a profit on the books should they sell him, but it's wages is the problem. He's on like over 200k a week. Palace, of course, aren't gonna pay half of that probably, and he's got 3. It's not like he's got a year left where he thinks, you know what, I'll sign a 5-year deal at Palace, I'll take the wage hit, I'll just, for the 1 year I'm at Chelsea. No, he's got 3 years left of mega wages at Chelsea, which is problematic. Chile, I like him, guys. We've spoken about this at length. He's a wonderful player, a wonderful professional in person. He just seemingly doesn't suit, and we should really be all in on Maresca and his plan at the moment, because you think about, not only are we in top 4, and we're looking good, we're settling in, and players are coming back, and he's only just started his Chelsea tenure, and it should theoretically get better, not worse, and we're in top 4. So, of course, all roads lead to just sticking with this, backing Maresca, and clearly Chilwell's not part of that, and he is not in the new wage structure, the incentivized wage structure, so there will be inclinations to let him go for a bunch of reasons. Yeah, I've got very fond memories of him flying down. I've watched him plenty of times at Stamford Bridge live, back when I was going to the bridge a lot. He won the Champions League with Chelsea as such an important player, and he's a great guy. So if he goes, it would be sad, but I kind of get it. Should we move on? Yeah. All right then. We are going on Football Insider now. Chelsea stance on selling Christopher Nkunku revealed after confirmed news. So this is a article from Pete O'Rourke, transfer correspondent. We're going to have a look now, shall we? Me. Chelsea are not open to offers for attacker Christopher Nkunku amid speculation about a potential Paris Saint-Germain swoop. Oh, PSG, a return to the Parisian behemoth French football club, perhaps. Firstly, I made a case about Chelsea maybe selling Nkunku. I didn't say Chelsea... I want Chelsea to sell Nkunku, but I spoke about it because we spoke about how high wages, not incentivized wage structure, a player that's undisputedly, you can't dispute it, he's elite, he's an amazing finisher, but it's very much a profiling thing. And if we, again, like I just said a minute ago, if we are all in on this Maresca stuff, then he's got to be a striker. He's not a wing. He's not going to be a winger because Maresca likes Jadon Sancho, Noni type wingers. I don't think he's going to be a number 10 because he wants like Joao Felix / Cole Palmer, creative playmaking number 10s. He's certainly not that. He's a finisher of moves, not starters. So it's striker or bust in this Chelsea system. And Nkunku as a profile, he doesn't do his best work as a centre forward. So you've got that, and you're never going to play in a position where you do your best work. So he's got to take that on the chin immediately. That was the discussion point. He's obviously got a very, very high sellable value still. Like Chelsea will make a massive profit on the books, or certainly, easily get the money back from as well, and alleviate themselves of higher wages that aren't on the new structure. That's what I was sort of making a case for. But he's an elite footballer, and one of the few senior players like that Chelsea have. He's about to turn 27, I think. And PSG, going back to PSG, is very interesting. So he's 26-year-old, but he turns 27 27 in less than a month, so you need to think he's 27 really. Has long-term admirers in the French capital, where he started, of course, his professional career before moving to Leipzig. Nkunku, speaking to Telefoot, was forced to rubbish speculation about a PSG switch over the international break. He says this: PSG remains a big club, but there's not been one approach, not one. Sources say clubs are monitoring his situation at Chelsea after a stuttering start to life at Stamford Bridge. However, it's believed Chelsea are not open to offers, and Enzo Maresca views him as a key part of his plans going forward, which is great. Firstly, I want to say, I don't think he had a stuttering start. I think he had a strong start. The few times he was coming on, because remember, he was injured the whole first season. He came off the bench a few times. He was scoring. He looks good. He never a stuttering start. Okay, maybe stuttering means he just didn't get a run of games because he was injured. I guess that's what it means, rather than critiquing him for performances or form or whatever, because that's just simply not fair. Chelsea not open to an Nkunku exit. Blues chief and the Italian Maresca feel there will be plenty of opportunities to get Nkunku back firing after, of course, a huge layoff in the previous campaign with injury. He's already hit 7 goals in 11 appearances so far this season. Oh, it's a hat-trick against Barrow, but still, you got to score him, right? But he's yet to make a splash in the Premier League. He scored 1 goal in the Premier League, I think, so far, and that was the winner against Bournemouth, if memory serves, which, of course, it's a 3-point goal. Do you know what I mean? So nothing wrong with that, mate. And Nkunku has started just once in the top flight with Nicolas Jackson in form and preferred to the France international. Of course, the 26-year-old has competitions for his roles as well from other players. Yeah, look, ultimately, like I said, it's super tough. It's going to be tough for him because he's seemingly it's striker or bust unless Maresca wants to change how he plays. I know he's explained generally I like these type of wingers and generally this is how I want to play. But there's been a bit of tactical flexibility from Maresca. So maybe he just one game decides to play a 4-4-2 against, say we play a Man City. This is a thought exercise, guys. So maybe we play Man City away. Of course, we've got to play them away still. And he goes, you know what? We're going to play a 4-4-2, playing some real vertical football and run in behind. And I'm going to play Jackson, and I'm going to play Jackson and Nkunku together. All right? I'm going to play Jackson and Nkunku, big man, little man. And that's what Nkunku wants. Nkunku can be in the left pocket slightly withdrawn from Jackson. Jackson can hold the ball up. Nkunku can run in behind. That role of that sort of second striker, I always say cloak and dagger, that's Nkunku down to a T. Not hold up man in the channel by herself as a striker. And maybe Maresca says that. And then, let's create the same back four as usual. Maybe we lose the likes of Amadoueke because Cole Palmer has to play on that right, wing role, and maybe they play quite narrow, the second bank of 4. I don't know why I'm building this, but let's build it. And then you obviously can have 2 functional midfielders in like Caicedo and Lavia or something like that, and then you got creativity from Sancho and Palmer or something. Like if he did that, great. But for the moment, until then, Nkunku's just gonna have to play as a centre forward and be a striker from a front 3 system of 2 conventional wingers and a conventional centre forward. It's not his best game, but he's not. Again, 27 in a matter of days. Is there time to change? Maybe. Dries Mertens became amazing centre forward really late in life after being this tiny little diminutive winger. And he scored loads of goals for Napoli, so who knows? Alright guys, so there's plenty of stories we've covered today. As always, I'll invite you to leave your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for liking and subscribing. And as always, I hope to see you back here very soon, and thank you for joining me. Okay, bye-bye.